What we're showing you here is an interesting pride here in South Florida called Caribbean Pride Fest. And in a moment, when we finish this video, we're going to introduce you to the president of Pride Fort Lauderdale and the coordinator representative to talk with us tonight about Caribbean Pride Fest. And of course, all of y'all know him. All of y'all here, our hosts, know him because he was the one that was sitting right next to us when we broadcast live at Las Olas and A1A. He was one that was sweeping A1A and making sure that it was clean and clear when the Pride Parade began. And we welcome our special guest, Miik Martorell. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
We're really happy to hear you. Oh, of course.
And we wish him a happy birthday.
Is it your birthday?
Happy birthday.
Congratulations. Why are you doing It's Happening Out on your birthday? You should be out having, you are having fun. That's
I'm having fun, absolutely.
Exactly.
And not just that, but we're a month out from Caribbean Pride Fest, so if we don't get the word out.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, the Caribbean Pride Fest caught our attention because, of course, Pride Fort Lauderdale, and we're going to talk about another Pride in a moment in 2020. But Caribbean Pride Fest caught our attention because South Florida is a melting pot, and the Caribbean is not generally as well known in terms of embracing gay LGBT rights. And so Caribbean Pride Fest caught our attention. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, actually, I'd love to take credit for starting this, but we are just the new promoters or the new organizers of it. This actually started back with SunServe, and it's been going on this will be the 5th year. And SunServe came to us last year and said, as much as we love this, unfortunately, we're a social services agency. We're not an event promoter or event planner, and they wanted to see this continue to grow. The 2 years that I've been is the most organic event. It literally, the group of people that come in just bring their talents and skills and family and friends together, and it is really such a beautiful thing. You walk out of there with a smile on your face, whether you love the Caribbean or hate the Caribbean or whatever, you're going to walk out with a smile on your face, and it was something that made me very addicted to the idea of us getting involved with it. So,
Mike, I'm curious, with the banner of Caribbean Pride Fest, a lot of our viewers around the country and outside the United States might not be completely clear how the South Florida community embraces the Caribbean, or even where or what countries are involved in the islands of the Caribbean. Explain that a little to us.
Well, Broward County is a very unique county. There's over 100 languages spoken in the homes here in Broward County, and there's one amazing thing is that we are truly a melting pot. My friends, my family, I'm of Cuban descent. That's in the Caribbean. Puerto Rico's in the Caribbean. And where are you from?
Trinidad and Tobago.
I knew it. Okay. I was just didn't want to get it wrong. Trinidad. So obviously this is part. But Kitty's from the Bahamas. We just have so many people that are representative here. And a lot of the people that are here aren't here because they necessarily want to be here. Not that they don't enjoy being here, but they can't be in their own countries, their own self. I mean, we put up a post on our Pride Fort Lauderdale page a few years back, a couple years ago, and it was a Jamaican a news report on a Jamaican TV station. Now, I want you to see what makes the news. Literally, a guy's putting on lipstick in the street. People were up in arms about it. He ran into a local clothing store. They locked him in. The police were called.
Yep.
Hundreds of people were outside.
I saw that.
And they were saying, "We want him out of here." I remember it hit my head like I was like, I cannot believe somebody just said they want him out because he was putting on lipstick.
And they would have chopped him up with machetes.
And the police
They would have chopped him up.
They put him in the car. They shook the car. I mean, this is going on. I know this is about 5 years old, the news report, but that's why a lot of people are here. And they don't get the same attention at Pride Fort Lauderdale or any other Pride. No offense to any of our Prides, but this is something that really deserves its own magnifying glass.
Yep.
It needs to have, because there's so much culture that goes on in the Caribbean that it just cannot be expressed universally in one event. It really has to come
Mike,
across.
I have to tell you, I've listened. Of course, Mike is the president of Pride Fort Lauderdale, had a historic parade, literally historic, on A1A, the
That was
famous.
epic.
It was. And all of
Epic.
the high school bands that were in that parade on the beach road in Broward County. It was amazing. I've heard you speak many times, but I don't think, even in all of the times I've heard you speak about Pride Fort Lauderdale, I've heard the passion that I've heard in just the last couple of minutes, which is very interesting to me. Caribbean Pride Fest is when? Tell us about the details.
It's going to be Saturday, May 11th. We're moving it to Huizenga Park in downtown Fort Lauderdale, which is a much, much bigger place than it was in the last few years. But most importantly is that I actually have a special announcement to make, which I'm making in 2 seconds here. We really want to expand beyond just Jamaica and actually I can bring that out now. Grand Cayman, which is great now because that used to be a country that if you were on a cruise ship, you may not be able to get off.
Yeah,
remember?
Exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't that long
in
ago?
In the cruise industry?
There you go.
Yeah, I know.
That's why.
Right.
Well, so two things. We've been talking to through Interpride, which is an organization that we're involved in. We've one of our members, Ashley Mayfair, was on the phone with the people just yesterday from Jamaica Kingston Pride, which, believe it or not, there is a pride. There's a couple small prides in Jamaica, and they're going to be coming, and they will be part of our event this year.
How cool is that?
And our goal is to really involve other countries. Let them know they're welcome. We want them to be here and be part of it. But I think what's going to make it this year is entertainment-wise is we have a special announcement. We just signed a contract just a couple of hours ago with Amara La Negra, who is on Love and Hip Hop Miami.
I'm in love with her.
She's Dominican.
Awesome.
You guys are the first to hear it. So
news on it's happening
it's
out.
definitely happening
Broke right
out
here
now.
first.
So and it's really exciting because she's going to bring a focus on the entertainment aspect, but also the fact that I don't think reggaeton even really gets any attention as far as the artist, and not that that's all she does. She does everything, but I just feel that we're now opening up to the culture, the multiple cultures, and what we can do. I've been a DJ this is my 25th year DJing. So I find music is a wonderful way for all of us to get together. Right. In fact, I fall in love with you every time you DJ. And I walked by you on the stage at Miami Beach Pride this year, and I was looking. You didn't see me, but I was looking while I was volunteering. And it was amazing, and it's great because it does cross ages. It crosses everything. It's cultures. It really does. People love to be together, and the one thing I find about all of us as a people is that we fight a lot, but we really don't want to fight. We'd rather be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, I congratulate you. Caribbean Pride Fest to America. If you're here in May, tell us the date one more time.
May 11th. That's Saturday, May 11th from 2.
In downtown Fort Lauderdale.
From 2 to 8.
It's Saturday and Sunday.
Just Saturday.
Oh, just Saturday.
We're going to start out one step at a time.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very unique concept, very different than prides that you may be used to in your town or where you can get to, celebrating a lot of international flavor in one event. So congratulations to that. I cannot let Mike get away and taking an opportunity to tell you the uniqueness of this organization. Again, we congratulate Mike. Mike was the leadership of Pride Fort Lauderdale, and you did an amazing job. Your organization was amazing, amazing, amazing. They are going to up the ante, and in 2020, Pride Fort Lauderdale here in South Florida is going to modify their Pride schedule, and they're going to move from the middle of the spring to April, and they are going to do a much bigger Pride that is going to celebrate what is called Pride of Americas, Pride of the Americas, and it's going to celebrate the multicultural nature of North America, Central America, and South America, and inviting people from all over the Western Hemisphere to South Florida to celebrate its first Pride of its like ever in history, like a World Pride, but focusing just on the Western Hemisphere. Very quickly, tell us about that, Mike.
Oh, it's never say very quickly and ask me to say anything. First. this all came out of an idea, and I want to thank Edgar Reyes. Edgar is out there. He was the one that orchestrated the whole Amara coming to Pride, to Caribbean Pride, and I don't want to forget anybody. And obviously, I don't do this alone. There are lots of people behind the scenes and that are on our board that make this happen. People who give up their time freely, to make it happen. We're all volunteers, so that's important. So anybody who wants to volunteer, we are always looking. But getting back to this,
the dates?
The dates are going to be, it's the last week in April of 2020.
Right.
So we have tentatively the 17th, but it's probably going to be more like the 20th, going on to the 23rd, I believe.
Right.
And it's the focus is really. I've been to 53 Prides in the last 3 years, volunteering and learning.
53 Prides.
And I did that with frequent flyer miles and a friend
Bitch is
Sean
proud.
with great discounts. But you learn a lot when you go around. And one thing I've learned is that it is an addictive thing to be involved with Pride, but our community is a perfect place for people to come unite and be able to celebrate Pride in places that can't do it, like we talked about. This is a great place for them to come. But more importantly, we have a responsibility to shed light on what's going on in other countries. So this is not only going to be a big celebration, there will also be a let's call it a human well-being conference. We don't want to say human rights because that can put people at odds.
Controversial.
Exactly.
Political.
So it's a human well-being conference. Bring a business conference as well, in addition to a travel industry conference, basically showing off each of these organizations and companies, explaining what they're doing to make a difference in LGBT plus hiring and rights. I mean, if somebody's pulling up their ship to a port that doesn't include everybody, that's kind of goes against what they're all about. Isn't the hospitality industry about hospitality?
Yeah.
So,
Mike, you give us a perfect segue. A perfect segue. We're putting up a slide right now telling you about some of the events that we're doing. The reason last week we announced this gigantic partnership, it's happening out with the Grand Hotel Fort Lauderdale, is to accomplish what the Pride Fort Lauderdale just challenged us all to do. Integrate tourism in, wait, Mike, we don't want you to go away yet. To integrate tourism in this gigantic vision that Mike and the people here in South Florida have. We've made the announcement, but now we really add to the sauce to the goose, as they say. Mike knows when we offered to help support Pride Fort Lauderdale in our live broadcast, which was just spectacularly successful, we have gone all in for this event of Pride of Americas in April 2020. This hotel will be coordinating events for that weekend for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and the hotel will turn completely Pride of Americas. 100% of the hotel will be supporting the hotel and the Pride event. And that will include the coordination of daytime parties, evening events, supplementing Pride of the Americas events at the beach, their events that they'll be doing, of course, including the parade and their Sunday Pride Fest event that they do. And Mike doesn't know this yet, but 12 additional hotels. This will be the flagship hotel of It's Happening Out's promotion of Pride of the Americas, and 12 hotels will join the Grand Hotel in making the weekend gay in Fort Lauderdale to support the Pride event.
And that's what it needs. It's unity, and I appreciate that because it's one of the things that we learned from the parade. When you see people literally sitting on the roof of the elbow room watching the parade, those businesses, which are basically straight businesses, learned very quickly, not that they weren't supportive, they were incredibly supportive, but they learned very quickly how well and how powerful our dollars are, our pink dollars, our rainbow dollars. It's really amazing because when we're able to show that, it hits everybody, the bartenders, the owners, everybody. So we really did a great job. And by the way, I was just watching some of the footage of what you guys did. It was truly amazing.
Historic.
And for us to have something like that, I mean, it takes a lot to put on this. I understand, and I know that this is not a minor investment, not only of time and money, but of talent, and we appreciate you very much.
Thank
Mike,
you.
Thank you.
To finish you out, and that's the reason I asked you not to move. One of the things that you'll see in this commitment, as we showed you in the slides, is we invite you right now, today on April 10th, we're getting ready to tell you in the coming weeks, you can participate in Pride of the Americas. We want you, and you're completely invited into South Florida in one of the most amazing gay pride events that you have ever seen. One final note that we want to say personally to Mike. When we did the hosting, it's highly unusual to do a live broadcast of a pride parade, which we did. It was a beautiful event. One thing that I want to summarize that all of the hosts said as we were watching this parade, we said it live repeatedly. When we finished, almost unanimously, the host said, one of the great moments of participating in the Pride Fort Lauderdale parade was all of the students of high school marching bands.
100%.
Don't give me crying.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
And here's what you can look at this. We try to bring something more than just entertainment. It's supposed to be, pride is not just about throwing a party and making money.
Absolutely.
It is about giving back. It's about educating. And this pride parade was historic in the sense that we were on A1A for the first time, the first parade of any kind to happen on the beach. We had our current history, our current, I guess our current history maker, trailblazer, Dean Trentalis, as our Grand Marshal. We had an original trailblazer who is part of the reason that someone was, strong enough to stand up for our rights, and that was, and our first transgender. I mean, she's only done 2 prides actually, Miss Major, and this is her second pride, and she's a transgender woman of color, 78 years old, was in Stonewall, and was actually beaten and arrested, broke her jaw. She spent her life fighting for the rights of people, like for all of us. And then think about 50 years ago. 50 years ago, would you have 30 years ago, would you have one person, one child, one kid from a high school in a parade marching in a gay pride parade? Never. We had 5. We had hundreds of students, and that's progress. We should be very proud.
Mike and I haven't rehearsed this, America. It's very funny because he talks about this huge moment in Pride Fort Lauderdale about Stonewall. And again, we encourage you to come to Caribbean Pride Fest next month here in South Florida, and especially mark your calendar now, that 4th week in April 2020. One of the most amazing things outside of World Pride, which is coming up, that you will have ever seen, and that is Pride of the Americas.
Thanks so much for watching us. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to our channel and like us on Facebook.